Imagine a city where graffiti wasn't illegal. A city where everybody could draw whatever they liked. Where every street was awash with a million colors and little phrases. Where standing at a bus stop was never boring. A city that felt like a party where everyone was invited. Not just the estate agents and barons of big business. Imagine a city like that and stop leaning against the wall. It's wet. This is the Banksy Effect. As one of the world's most iconic street artists, Banksy's identity has remained anonymous and his ethos has always been to remain humble. Be it through political activism, subversive art exhibits, or calculated public spectacles, the artist is no stranger to delicately defacing property to send a message to the world. That message primarily being anti-authoritarian, anti-commercial, or existentialist. Very little is known about Banksy. In the early 90s, he began creating freehand graffiti art in the Bristol Underground, until eventually settling on his artistic identity around 2000 with stencil art. The story goes that he once got caught tagging a train car and evaded the police by hiding under a garbage truck where he noticed its serial number stenciled on. At this point, he realized that he needed to find a way to work faster in order to mitigate the chances of getting caught, and using stencils was the answer. Banksy was also heavily influenced in his early days by a French graffiti artist, Blake Lerat, who was known as the father of stencil graffiti, creating stencil street art since the 60s. Banksy's first mural, The Mild Mild West, was a response to the over-policing of unlicensed raves and parties held in abandoned warehouses. To this day, the piece, along with many others by Banksy, has been protected by the Bristol City Council to preserve the cultural value that he has brought to the city over the years. Since the rise of street art in Bristol, the city has benefited socially and monetarily through an increase in property value and tourist attractions following the growing interest in Banksy all over the world. He helped legitimize street art in this way, with cities investing more in urban art installations and seeing a positive economic and social impact, thus creating the Banksy Effect. Urban art has historically been an instrument for revolution, counterculture, and underground movements worldwide, with images and messages that are beautiful, piercing, and clever all at once. As one of the most recognized cities in the world, Los Angeles is filled with street art from all walks of life. Graffiti made by local teens may be placed directly next to pieces created by artists featured at MoCA, the Smithsonian, universities, galleries, and even featured in high fashion brands such as Yves Saint Laurent and Louis Vuitton. Local governments and businesses now hire these artists to use the streets as their canvas for community development and commercial use. Yes, a kid from 1990 who got in trouble for tagging in alleys can be seen doing the exact same thing today, hired by a city department. One such example is Retna, who began his graffiti art at the age of 8 while in Catholic school, copying the Old English lettering of LA street gangs and developing his own geometric script that has become so iconic that Chanel, Nike, and the San Francisco Opera have collaborated with him. Other contemporary artists have also commercialized their work. Shepard Fairey's Obey brand is a clothing line where he still creates political art. Jerkface is a duo that works in cartoon murals and now has corporate commissions throughout the world, including apartment buildings that integrate artistic value into the price of rent. Other, more dubious characters have capitalized on street art without having any history or prior experience. Mr. Brainwash's infamous beginnings was publicized in the 2010 documentary Exit Through the Gift Shop, which detailed his disturbing meteoric rise to fame and financial success in the art world that made a joke of the entire scene of street art and sparked questions about the value of it all in the first place, be it political, social, or artistic. He still enjoys a very successful career in what is now street pop art. Banksy, however, has remained true to his humble ethos, and not only has fervently steered clear from the commercialization of his work, but has sabotaged it, as the world witnessed his art shredding at a live Sotheby's auction for $1.4 million. Unfortunately, the act itself caused it to multiply in value because of it, to $24 million. Just as Basquiat and Al Diaz's Samo graffiti was central to the culture wars of the 1980s, the Banksy Effect has brought a culture war with the contradiction of the anti-elitist, anti-corporate beginnings of street art. and the resulting commercialization of it.